Good afternoon, everyone. It is a pleasure again to welcome each and every one of you to this plenary talk which emphasizes on various aspects of classical languages of India. In this session, we will have the privilege to know in greater detail about the rich literary traditions, significance, and historical background of Kannada, Tamil, and Malayalam from some of the brightest minds of studies in classical language and literature. India's rich history, culture, and intellectual traditions are preserved in these languages, which serve as more than just a medium of communication. Join us as we explore these classical tongues, enduring beauty and academic value while honoring their contributions to our shared human heritage. For this session, we have with us Professor N.M. Talwar to chair the session. Can we have a huge round of applause for Sir? Sir, please join us on the dais. Professor Talwar is currently the Project Director of Center of Excellence for Studies in Classical Kannada. He is also the Honorary Consultant of Balaga Mysore Literary Foundation Organization. He has formerly served as a Professor of Kannada at the Kevempu Institute of Kannada Studies, University of Mysore. His areas of specialization are Vachana literature, medieval period Kannada literature, criticism and folklore. He has been also felicitated with the Kannada Rajyotsav Award 2010 by the Government of Kannada. Sir, please join us on this dais. For the first plenary talk of this session, I would like to request Professor Pradhan Gurudatta to take his esteemed seat on the dais. Sir, please join us on the dais, sir. Both of you may please come. Professor Gurudatta is the chairman of Kannada Anuvada Sahitya Academy. I'm sorry, sir. With over 32 years of teaching experience, Professor Gurudatta brings a wealth of knowledge to today's discussion. His dedication to academics is reflected in the 16 prestigious awards he has received, including the National Writers Award from Government of India, Rajyotsav Award from the Government of Karnataka, and the Central Sahitya Academy Award. He was also honored with the Aryabhatta and Dijagav Awards in 2008. Professor Gurudatta's plenary talk titled Three-Pronged Approaches to Creating Awareness of the Greatness of Our Classical Languages, Machinery therefore promises, okay sir, Machinery therefore promises to be a thought-provoking exploration. May I please request Professor Talwar to honor Professor Gurudatta. Can I hear the claps, please? Thank you, Professor. Our second plenary speaker for the session is by Professor R. Chandrasekharan, a distinguished scholar with over 24 years of experience in teaching and research. Professor Chandrasekharan is currently the director of Central Institute of Classical Tamil. He could not join us today, but Sri R. Akilan, programmer, Central Institute of Classical Tamil, is here with us to deliver the plenary talk on behalf of him. Please join us on the stage. The title... can we please honor him, sir, on behalf of Chandrasekharan, sir. The title of the plenary talk is Revitalizing Classical Languages, Strategies for preservation and modern pedagogical approaches. Thank you, Professor Talwar. The third plenary talk speaker for today's session is Professor T.N. Satishan. Sir, I would like to request you to kindly grace the dais. Sir, I would like to request you to please honor our plenary speaker. Professor Satishan is the chairperson and professor of Malayalam, Department of Modern Indian Languages at Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh. Sir has received numerous prestigious awards which includes Abhaya Dev Translation Award for Best Malayalam Translation 2012, Bhasha Samvaya Vedi, Kozhikode, Kerala. Apart from this, he is also the Malayalam Curricular Convener, CBSE, New Delhi, since 2013. Sir is also the expert member of Malayalam for UPSC, UGC, CBSE, CCRT, NTA, NCRT. The title for Sir's today's talk is Development of Classical Malayalam, Issues and Innovations. Can we get a huge round of applause for Sir? Now, I would like to sincerely hand over the further responsibilities to our esteemed chair. I would also like to inform you, sir, that the duration for each plenary is 20 minutes. We need to complete within time. And after that, the chair may give his views, and then we can have an open discussion, right? In which the audience will also join. So, sir, it's now over to you. Thank you. Sir, please. Sir, your introductory remarks, please.
Good afternoon to everybody. Now, final plenary talk is going to take place here. We have three experts, one from Kannada and another from Tamil and another from Malayalam. I request Professor Pradhan Gurudutt to deliver his plenary talk.
Respected Chairman of the session, distinguished scholars on the dais, and participants equally distinguished. At the outset, I should like to thank the authorities of the CIL and the Center for Classical Studies relating to Kannada for giving me this opportunity to address this distinguished gathering. I was first of all, attracted by one of the captions related to Tamil, which was the first Indian language to be conferred the status of a classical language. The caption runs like this: Tamil miles ahead of Kannada in making the most of the classical status. It is not at all a tall climb, since it was accorded this status in 2004 and 2 decades have thus passed now. Thus, Tamil became the eldest sister of the fraternity of 6 languages which have now been accorded the status of classical language. Tamil was accorded independent status in 2008. Karnataka was accorded the status of classical language in 2008 and it is 15 years now, still an independent status has not been conferred on it. Since the duration allotted for this plenary talk is 20 minutes, I am skipping some of the statements I have made here. I am sorry to refer to some of these statements that I have taken, some of the developments that have taken place. Yeah. Almost a decade ago, when the then government of Karnataka, which showed some interest in this regard, directed the then Director of Kannada and Culture, Sri Ramakrishna, and me to visit our counterpart in Chennai and make specific recommendations in this regard, both academically and administratively. We had discussions with the officials of the Center for Tamil Studies and submitted a detailed report to the government outlining the steps to be taken in both the aspects. We had suggested shifting of the center to Bangalore and housing the center in the Nagarbhavi campus of Bangalore University. As the chairman of the Kuvempu Bhasha Bharati Pradhikara Authority, then I had agreed to spare one of the two buildings for this purpose. The director of the Indira Gandhi Center, Dr. Shettar, had also come forward to release another building for this purpose. A detailed publication program for a decade was also prepared and submitted. Under the pretext of the availability of the Epigraphical Department of the Government of India and the Oriental Research Institute in Mysore, there was a hue and cry that the center should not be shifted to any place other than Mysore. You should know one thing, Epigraphia India volumes, they have almost covered the entire epigraphs that are, inscriptions that are available in the country. The Institute of Kannada Studies also has brought out the revised edition of Epigraphia Karnataka. Therefore, it was just a cry that this was necessary for the Classical Language Center. Government wanted to postpone the decision on every aspect. Therefore, this was a very advantageous position for them and they kept quiet. Therefore, the position of Kannada Classical Language Center continued to be the same. The government, which was waiting for one excuse or the other, slept over the issue and the entire proposal was thus aborted. The University of Mysore, which had initially agreed to part with the Jayalakshmi Vilas mansion for housing the center, later on turned round and said that it is not possible to hand over that building because it has to be maintained as a heritage building. It has now offered a bit of land in the proposed new campus and God knows when it will come into reality. While planning the activities of the center, another important factor of the earliest university in the state needs to be taken into account, lest there be no repetition of the academic programs, since all these universities had embarked on several research programs like producing histories of literature, histories of Dasa Sahitya, Vachana Sahitya, history of prosody, etc., and folklore. There are many universities where folklore is being taught as a special subject, and a folklore university also has come into existence in the state. These things I am skipping. Unfortunately, some of the projects that had been envisaged have come to a standstill on account of several other reasons which I would not like to disclose here. Some foreign universities in the USA, Britain, France, USSR and Germany have taken up translation of Kannada classics into English. English and other languages also. Recently, Dr. Sel Bhairappa's Parva has been translated into Russian and Mandarin, Chinese language. It speaks of the richness and abundance of Kannada literature also. As the president of the Kuvempu Bhasha Bharati Pradhikara, I have brought out several classic works in the universe. For example, History of Civilization, you must have heard that name. Will Durant, 11 volumes. And Science in History by Bernal, 4 volumes. Somadeva's Kathasarit Sagara, 18 volumes. Therefore, this way, some independent works we have brought out in Kannada. But later on, no such program has been taken up by the institutes for reasons which are well known to you. When Mr. V.P. Singh was the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, not only the Prime Minister, he was formerly the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, he granted a sum of 5 lakhs for the PG Department of Hindi in the University of Mysore for mutual Adan Pradan program, exchange program. 2 scholars were deputed to Mysore University for studies in Kannada. Later on, after his departure to the center, the entire program was dropped and now it is in a sleeping position. I do not want to comment on some similar schemes. I should like to refer to another program of the Commission for Scientific and Technical Terminology, because in the broad outlines of the activities of the classical centers, it is said equipping the languages technically. That's why I am referring to this thing. The Commission for Scientific and Technical Terminology of the Government of India, CSTT, has produced terminological equivalents for most of the subjects. Sorry for the delay. Technical glossaries have been published in respect of many of the subject disciplines, including medicine also. They came up with a project, Common Medical Terminology for All Indian Languages. That scheme was entrusted to the Institute of Kannada Studies and I was placed in charge of that. I contacted the professors in the Mysore Medical College, Government Mysore Medical College, and the Care Hospital, and we formed a team and we produced the glossary of common medical terms in Kannada. The chairman of the Commission for Scientific and Technical Terminology, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, not the President of India, similar name, Rajendra Prasad, later told me that many language groups had refused to take the burden, stating that it would be very difficult to provide medical terminology. But once we prepared it, they made use of our terminology and they all came up with their versions of that. In that way, also, we have created a record in the Institute of Kannada Studies of the University of Mysore. Why I am mentioning these things is, some of these things must be taken up by the classical center, because the word classical doesn't mean only the Kannada, the equivalent Shastriya Bhasha given actually misleads us. Because I'm giving you the quotation also from Oxford Dictionary. It runs like this. Classical means of the first class. Even in our examinations also we say we have secured first class, second class, etc. Therefore that means that elevation also. First class, acknowledged excellence. Remarkably typical and outstandingly important. Therefore, we need not confine ourselves to ancient literature. Kannada literature, which extends to over 2000 years, has three specific periods: Old Kannada period, Middle Kannada period, and Modern Kannada period. We have great works in all these periods. A list of important works which will be distinct contribution to other Indian languages also has to be prepared, and later on they are to be translated into other Indian languages and English also, and to other languages if possible also. I wish to place before this August Assembly a few programs which I believe to be worthy of serious implementation. Among the subjects planned or suggested to be taken up by these centers of excellence, what is of utmost importance is translation of classical texts into other Indian languages, English and other European languages, and linking with modern terminology, modern technology. This is to be achieved through the three-pronged appreciation of the problem. Under a combined program of the Consortium of American Universities, headed by Pennsylvania University and the University of Mysore, with the active participation of the Institute of Kannada Studies, a program was outlined to teach Kannada language to a group of about 40 American students drawn from different universities. They used to stay here for one semester. With the preliminary success of this program, it was continued in the later years with the other students from European universities also participating in the program. However, Professor Thomas, who had accompanied these students during these courses, said that a preliminary training could be imparted in the US and the students could come over to Mysore for advanced studies. Dr. H.M. Nayak, who was the then director of the Institute of Kannada Studies, went to US, discussed the problem with the authorities there and gave out a plan of action. Professor Thomas and Dr. Hamanayak presented it to the University of Mysore, stating that one professor from Mysore University should go over to Pennsylvania University and to teach them in English. Because their intention was reading, writing and conversation. These are not the only important things. They must be able to translate also the great epics available in the Indian languages into English. Therefore, he said, let them have a preliminary training in the United States and later on let them come over to the Institute of Kannada Studies of the University of Mysore for advanced studies. The University of Mysore did not accept the proposal. It wanted some changes to be made in that. I don't want to refer to those changes, but the American authorities were upset with the very attitude and they withdrew the entire program. Now I suggest to the Classical Center of Kannada to revive such programs so that it will be possible for us to interact with the universities outside India. When I was the chairman of the Kuvempu Bhasha Bharati Pradhikara, I started PG diploma course in translation to be continued later as a master's degree course also. It was granted recognition by the Kannada University in Hampi, Karnataka State Open University in Mysore, and Kuvempu Bhasha Bharati was recognized as a center of higher learning by Tumkur University also. But what happened was, the successors who came over did not show any interest and these programs were all dropped. Therefore, what should have been a fruitful exercise has now been a part of the history. The classical languages unit of Karnataka should, in all earnestness, prepare a list of classical texts of old, medieval and modern Kannada languages, identify well-known translators who could deliver the goods, and then training youngsters also in the various disciplines. One noted scholar of Karnataka, Shatabadhani Ganesh, is doing such work. M.Tech graduates, actually technocrats we could call them, he has collected about half a dozen people. They are being trained in the classics also, and they are being asked to translate those things into English also. They have brought out nearly half a dozen books so far. Therefore, that procedure has to be followed here also. Another thing was Dr. C.N. Ramachandran, who was professor of English in Mangalore University. He collected a group of English professors who knew Kannada also well, and he asked them to take classics of Kannada language and then translate it into India. He himself has translated some of the folk epics like Malay Mahadeshwara Kavya into English also. Therefore, these English professors, they could assemble people who were interested in translation process and also who were interested in activities which are not very pleasing to hardliners. Therefore, the youngsters should have been trained in the various disciplines in the context of translation. They must have a time-bound program also. Unless some strict measures are taken up, it will be a failure totally. The academic aspects could be looked after by the experts in the subjects concerned. But to undertake such ventures, financial support is a must. If Tamil is ahead of other languages, classical languages, the financial assistance it has reduced has contributed to this achievement. Very recently, when this fact was brought to the notice of the then Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. S.I. Bommai, he said, we are prepared to give all assistance. There's a change in the regime Therefore, the present government has, for the present, forgotten it totally. In the project outlay of the center, there is provision for the post of a project director, 15 research scholars, 15 fellows, and 6 support staff totaling to 37 persons. I do not know how many people have been appointed under this scheme. The Director of Finance, in addition, is one of the nominated members also. Therefore, efforts must be made to secure sufficient grants from the government of Karnataka also and from the government of central government. In the absence of perfect planning and regular infrastructure, I mean sanctioning of the status which has been granted to Tamil should be granted to Kannada language also. Dr. Shailendra Mohan, who is a visionary and a constructive director, I think he will be able to do this in favor of Kannada also. This doesn't any way bring credit to the center if we do not show progress. Because whereas Tamil has produced more than 90 books in the course of 2 decades, we are about 10 books we have been able to produce in 15 years. And a lot of other manuscripts have also been submitted, but they have to be strictly gone through by competent persons in the field, and only those that could bring credit to the institution should be published also. Perhaps independent status, not confirmed even after 15 years, might have contributed to this delay in the functioning of the Karnataka Center. Within a period of 4 years, namely 2008, Tamil was granted this honor. Why this discrimination in respect of Kannada? That's my question. I have seen a press note in this regard stating that the Tamil Center was not in favor of this independent status being given to other languages also. But there is a change in the attitude, and I learned that all languages which are given this credit of being the classical languages of India are going to get that one, and I hope that in the near future we are going to get that recognition also. Let this government and our representatives in the state and at the center also prevailing on the authorities concerned to grant independent status so as to enable this center of classical studies to bloom well in the coming years. Thank you. I have done my homework completely, and it runs to about 10 pages. If I go on reading it, it will take an hour. Therefore, I have just summarized what I wanted to say. Thank you very much. If you want any... Okay, and?
அன்னை தமிழுக்கும் அவையோருக்கும் என் வணக்கம். A very good afternoon to all. First, I wish to thank our director, Professor R. Chandrasekharan, giving me a wonderful opportunity to present the presentation. And I wish to thank CL director and chairperson of this session and all the CAL team members and the organizers. I am going to share some points of revitalizing classical languages methods for preservation and modern pedagogical approaches. This is the agenda I am going to share with you. The classical languages of India, Tamil, Sanskrit, Kannada, Telugu, Malayalam and Odia. So first, the main important thing is education and awareness programs, workshop. Organizing workshop to encourage researchers, university and college faculties in the preservation and promotion of classical languages in India. Seminars, organizing seminars to encourage researchers, university professors and college faculties. Literary festivals. Host literary festivals, events, dedicated classical Tamil literature, inviting scholars, writers and enthusiasts to discuss celebrate the works of ancient Tamil poets like Thiruvalluvar, Tolkapiyar, Auvayar and other classical Tamil poets. CACT organizing this type of events continuously. As on date, 63 workshop, seminar, refresher courses organized, 1,350 sessions conducted, 1,605 participants from across the world. Their professors and researchers participated. 600 research persons, they will share the knowledge with our students. Promoting the study of classical languages in India. Promoting the study of classical language is essential and preserving the country rich linguistics and cultural heritage. Here are some of ways to promote the study of Bharatiya classical languages. The first one, government support. Advocate for government support for funding for the study and preserving the classical languages through grants, scholarship and institutional support. Integration the education. Include classical language studies in school and university curriculum at both regional and national level. Offer courses, degrees and diplomas in classical languages to encourage students to pursue their subjects. Research and scholarship. Encouraging research and scholarship in classical languages by providing funding, fellowships and research opportunities for scholars, students and everyone. Digital platforms. This is more important nowadays. First one is website. The Central Institute of Classical Tamil create a website, serve as a comprehensive digital platform providing resources, research publications and information on various initiatives aimed at the preservation, promotion of Tamil classical language. Social media. The institute actively engages the community through website and social media platforms including X, Facebook, Instagram, where it shares all the updates, resources and informations, Tamil classical heritage on ongoing initiatives. Mobile apps. The institute is embracing modern classical by launching the mobile apps. This is our website, CACT website, developing digital tools and platforms for analyzing, interpreting classical texts in Bharatiya languages. This should involve NLP tools, machine learning, data visualization techniques to uncover linguistics patterns, historical context, and cultural insights. Heritage conservation, work towards presenting ancient manuscripts, inscription, and art crafts related to classical languages through digitization, conservation efforts, and exhibitions. The all platform, we have provided all the information about our institute. The CACT is embracing modern accessibility by launching mobile apps. Those apps aim to bring richness of classical Tamil literature and related contents to the fingertips of users, offering a user-friendly interface. This all are our mobile apps created and uploaded in our website cict.in. Chemmoli Multimedia Center, the institute actively working towards sharing richness of classical literature across the diverse platforms. To achieve this, CACT promoting audio video presentations feature esteemed professors which will be disseminated through YouTube. A dedicated Chemmoli Multimedia Center situated in new campus has been established for this purpose. This center is committed to generating one program per day showing lectures, renowned scholars not only on classical Tamil literature but also related subjects such as Kannada, Telugu, Malayalam, Hindi, Sanskrit and English. The Chamoli Multimedia Center, equipped with a shooting floor, featured 4 distinct backdrops and state-of-art technology. The ideas for YouTube channels focused on classical languages. First one is language learning tutorials, text analytical and interpretation, translation and commentary, interviews with scholars and experts, conducting interviews with scholars, linguistics, historians and other experts in the field of classical languages, visual tours and field trips, language challenges and games, community question answering and discussion panels. As on date, our institute YouTube channel, Chemmoli, in that around 300 videos has been uploaded. Every day there is a update is in our YouTube channel. Then the main important thing one is publication of books and journal. Encouraging the publication of books, journals and magazines focusing on classical Tamil literature, promoting articles, documentaries and radio, TV program that explore its richness and relevance. On December 29, 2023, Dr. Subhash Sarkarji, the Minister of State of Education, paid a visit to CIST stall set up by the Kasi Tamil Sangamam 2 at Varanasi. This is the other important event of CICT. On July 29, 2023, the Honorable Union Minister Sri Dharmendra Pradhan Ji released 10 Tamilology books published by CICT in Bharatiya Mandapam in Delhi. On the same day, Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi Ji launched Akhil Bharati 6th Sangamam at Bharatiya Mandapam. It coincided with the 3rd anniversary of National Education Policy 2020. And the occasion included Dr. Subhash Sarkarji and our Director Professor R. Chandrasekharan with the Ministry of Education officials. The translation of Thirukkural. The Thirukkural has been translated into 35 languages and efforts are underway to translate into an additional 25 languages as mandated. Translation work for these languages currently in progress. Foreign language 9, Indian languages 26. Thirukkural into above 100 Indian and overseas languages. This is sure to taken of Government of India happy acknowledgement of Thirukkural as national and global importance. Translation project for Tolkappiyam. Tolkappiyam, the pre-era linguistics composition in an outstanding work in classical Tamil and the pride of India being through it. As on date, Indian languages, 9 languages has been translated and foreign languages 11. The English and the Hindi translation of the book has been already published and the translation work is currently in progress for the 18 languages. Translation of Manimekalai. Manimekalai, one of the 5 epics of Tamil literature, being translated into 32 Indian, Eastern and Western languages. Eastern and Western languages 18, Indian languages 14. This is the current status. All the 31 languages has been and the translated work is in progress. Among the English, Sanskrit, Hindi, Malay, Thai, Japanese, Chinese, Mongolian translation have been published. Translation of Chilappadigaram. Chilappadigaram is one of the 5 greatest epic of Tamil literature being translated into 36 Indian, Eastern and Western languages. Eastern and Western languages 12, Indian languages 24. The English translation have been already released. The Hindi, Telugu and Malayalam translation have been completed and published as well, and they will be released soon. Currently 115 Braille volumes are being translated for the visually impaired at no cost. This book is released by our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi Ji at Kasi Tamil Sangamam 2 event. And also the world record for the CICT Braille publications is imitated with the final steps to the progress currently underway. And CICT is organizing many cultural events, organize the classical music concerts, dance performance, and other forms inspired by ancient Tamil literature and traditions. Support for research and scholarship in Tamil in CICT. One of the main objectives of the Central Institute of Classical Tamil is to create Classical Tamil chairs in the world's premier overseas. Following the Classical Tamil chairs have been established at Annamalai University and Tamil University Tanjavur at the cost of 1 crore each. As on date, 297 doctoral fellowships have been completed and 47 postdoctoral fellowships is completed in our institute. From 2006, short-term projects funded 280 and the projects completed is 242. Heritage conservation, working towards preserving ancient Tamil manuscripts, inscription and artifacts through conservation efforts and museum exhibitions. Bharatiya Bhasha Utsav. The Bharatiya Bhasha Utsav is a significant initiative by the Government of India to promoting Indian languages. The Government of India celebrated the birthday of renowned Tamil freedom fighter Mahakavi Subramania Bharati as Bharatiya Bhasha Utsav on 11th December. The Bharatiya Bhasha Utsav have been held from 28th September 2023 to the December 2023. The 75 days the institute has been celebrated every day, every programs, every cultural seminars and continuously celebrated for the 75 days. The same day, International Mother Language Day was celebrated at CICT. And more one very important achievement, the project for teaching classical Tamil to the non-Tamil students in Kasi Tamil Sangam 2. Approximately 8,000 students were participate this program. They are learning the basic Tamil at the event, at the 14 days event. International collaboration, foster collaboration with the international institutional organizational dedicated to the preservation and promotion of languages and cultures. Community engagement, engaging the Tamil speaking communities globally to foster pride in the cultural heritage and promote improve involvement in activities associated with classical Tamil. Online courses in classical Tamil. The online courses is in different modes. Basic course, intermediate language course, intermediate course built for the fundamental knowledge with acquired in Tamil. Advanced learning language courses, literary and textual studies, historical and cultural context. And innovative research activities. Innovative research activities can significantly contribute to the advancement and promotion of Bharatiya classical languages. Here are some of the ideas for innovative research activities. Digital humanities projects, interdisciplinary studies, comparative linguistics, textual criticism and philosophy. Translation studies, cognitive studies of language, socio-histological studies, digital archiving and preservation. Language revitalization, applied linguistics and language teaching, mobile apps, virtual libraries and archives. Text analytical tools, language exchange communities, natural language processing researchers, education content creation platforms. These all are the main focusing of our institute. The collection of oral traditions in classical languages. The collection of oral traditions in classical languages involves documenting and preserving the spoken cultural heritage of ancient civilizations passed down through the generations. Fieldwork and ethnography, collaborative documentation, multimedia recording, transcription and translation. Creating corpora for classical languages. Creating corpora for classical languages involving combining large collection of text in digital format for the linguistics analysis, research and language processing tasks. Here are the steps by steps guided to creating the classical languages corpora. Text selection, digitization, text processing, normalization, annotation, linguistics enrichment, segmentation and tokenization, corpus compilation, quality assurance, documentation and distribution. The institute has been developed the corpus for classical Tamil literature. It is available in our website ctlt.cact.in or from our major website cact.in. It is available in downloadable format. In the same way, language technology tools for classical Tamil language, classical languages. Language technology tools for classical languages play a crucial role in enabling computational analysis, linguistics research and digital humanities projects. While research for classical languages may be limited compared to modern languages, there are still several tools and technologies available. Here are some examples: text processing software, optical character recognition, digital transcription tools, lexical analysis tools, concordance software, text annotation platforms, machine translation system, digital edition tools, language learning apps, virtual research environment. Some of the tools has been developed and uploaded in the same website. So some of the tools have been under development. Creating a collection, heritage and indigenous traditions in classical languages. Creating a collection that showcases heritage and indigenous tradition in classical languages would be the fantastic endeavor. Bridging ancient wisdom with contemporary appreciation. Selection of text, translation and annotation, thematic organization, collaboration with indigenous scholars, digital accessibility, educational outreach, cultural preservation, community engagement, collaboration with indigenous scholars. Exploring India's rich cultural. India is the land of diverse heritage and indigenous traditions shaped by millennia of cultural exchange, migration and synthesis. These traditions are deeply rooted in the country history, religion, philosophy, art, literacy, music, dance and social practices. Here are the glimpses of into the some of the key aspects in India's rich heritage and indigenous traditions. Creating online search engine classical language manuscript. Creating an online search engine classical language manuscript would be the valuable resources for scholars, researchers, students and interested in exploring ancient text in the cultural heritage. Here are suggested roadmap for developing such a platform. First, define objectives and scope, gather manuscripts, digitization and metadata, develop search interface, implement OCR and transcription, database architecture and back-end development, user authentication and access control, cross-references and citation tools, maintenance and updates. CC developed the online search in manuscripts on our website, that's sodi.cact.in. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Akilanji, for that wonderful display of the beautiful academic work that CICT is doing. Now may I please call Professor T.N. Satishan to deliver his plenary talk. Thank you, sir.
Chairman of the plenary session, esteemed colleagues, scholars and distinguished guests, good afternoon to all. It's a great honor to address you today on the topic, the development of classical Malayalam issues and innovations. The designation of Malayalam as a classical language represents a pivotal achievement in the efforts to preserve and celebrate its profound literary and cultural legacy. Today I shall try to explore various strategic initiatives and innovative methodologies aimed at fostering the continued development of classical Malayalam. The term classical Malayalam refers to the period in the history of the Malayalam language and literature characterized by the creation of significant literary works and the establishment of linguistic norms. It The era generally spanning from the 9th to 18th centuries because the literary works appeared during that period. Includes the contributions of poets, scholars and religious figures whose works have had a lasting impact on Malayalam culture and literature. In the contemporary times, developing classical Malayalam into a vibrant and dynamic language involves several strategic efforts. The first one is the historical context of classical Malayalam. The development of classical Malayalam is deeply intertwined with the socio-political and cultural history of Kerala. Influence of Tamil and Sanskrit. Both these languages have a deep influence, strong influence on the development of Malayalam. The early Malayalam literature was heavily influenced by Tamil and Sanskrit. Many of the classical texts were composed in a mixture of Malayalam and Sanskrit. It's known as Manipravalam. It is a very powerful branch of Malayalam, which played a crucial role in the development of the language. The political power, Chera dynasty, which ruled parts of the present-day Kerala, significantly influenced the cultural and linguistic landscape of the region. The Kulashekara Alvar of Chera, the king, he wrote in Tamil and Sanskrit as well. He was well versed in both Tamil and Sanskrit. So that was the tradition Kerala followed. Under their patronage, literature and arts flourished. During the same period, the religions, Hinduism and Buddhism, Jainism, all these religions were flourished, which influenced literary themes and forms. Temples and monasteries became centers of learning and literary activity. Another important aspect is literary characteristics. Classical Malayalam literature is marked by several distinctive features. The first one I have mentioned earlier, Manipravalam literature. A blend of Malayalam and Sanskrit, Manipravalam was used in both poetry and prose. Works like Leela Tilakam, it was written in Sanskrit, and many Manipravala kavyas exemplifies this style. Another literary style was Pattu literature. This genre includes epic poems and lyrical compositions, often narrating mythological and religious themes. Notable examples include Ramacharitam, Kannasharamayanam, Ramagatha Pata, Krishna Gatha. These were the earlier works in that genre. Another form is Sandesha Kavyas, the Duta Kavya or messenger poems. These are lyrical poems in which a messenger, often a bird, carries a message of love and or devotion. Unnunili Sandesham and Kogadan Sandesham are the examples in this category. Bhakti literature is also confines a major literary works during this classical Malayalam period. Devotional poetry flourished during this period with poets like Edutachan, who is often called the father of Malayalam language, contributing significantly with works such as Adhyatma Ramayanam, Kilipattu, Mahabharatam Kilipattu, Harinama Kirtanam, Chindaratnam, etc. The third aspect is linguistic development. The classical Malayalam period is crucial for the linguistic evolution of Malayalam language. The first thing is, no, I shall. This is only the introduction because anyhow after coming to the slides, I will go a little. The classical Malayalam, the Malayalam script evolved from the Grantha script with the significant modifications to suit the phonetic requirements of the language. But the script development, the formation of the present Malayalam script evolved during this period. Another aspect is lexical expansion. During this period, Malayalam borrowed extensively from Sanskrit, Tamil obviously, and later from Portuguese and Arabic and English, enriching its vocabulary. Grammar and syntax. The period saw the development of distinct grammatical and syntactical norms that differentiated Malayalam from its Dravidian cousins, especially Tamil and Kannada. Cultural and educational impact. The classical Malayalam literature and language have had a profound impact on Kerala's culture and education, especially the works of Ezhuthachan. It influenced the common man. Literary works from this period from the core of Malayalam literary studies. They are revered as their artistic excellence and cultural significance, and they are a vital part of the curriculum in Kerala's educational institution. Efforts to preserve and promote classical Malayalam include: the first aspect is research and documentation. Compilation of literary works. You know, the history of Malayalam literature, Kerala Sahitya Charitram, written by Ullur in 5 volumes. Thousands of the works were mentioned in that literary history, but we have at least even 1/10 of that works are available, or even know where it is available. So to conduct a historical survey to catalogue existing literary works in Malayalam, including poetry and prose and dramas, is very important. And cataloging, create a detailed catalog and index of all these works, noting their authors, time periods, genres, and themes. Create a detailed online biographic database for the scholars and the public. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to go through these works, because these manuscripts are kept in different manuscript libraries. Even the location is not known to public. So the cataloging and indexing is very important. Manuscript collections, under the even 10 years ago, the manuscript mission was very active, and they collected many manuscripts from different houses and individuals and kept somewhere. But after that, I think the scheme was not continuing, and I don't know what happens to the manuscripts. So identify and collect manuscript from libraries, manuscripts kept outside Kerala and abroad. Because there are many manuscripts kept in various manuscript libraries outside Kerala. Because I have done a UGC research project on manuscripts of North India, even in Hoshiarpur library, Chandigarh, Baroda, and even Rampur. Many locations I could see the palm leaf manuscripts, but they don't know in which script these manuscripts are written. Even other Telugu and Tamil manuscripts were seen there. So at least an effort should be taken to locate and identify these manuscripts. And private collections and kept in temples and other repositories. This may involve fieldwork and collaboration with local historians and community leaders, and assess the physical condition of this manuscript and prioritize those that are at risk of deterioration for immediate conservation efforts. Because palm leaf manuscripts, you know the position of the palm leaf manuscripts. If it is not proper care is not given, the damage will be done within a few years. So identify and collect and assess these manuscripts from various repositories, an important thing. And high resolution imaging of this manuscript is very essential. Financial constraints, I don't know how much it is practical. Then the historical text documentation, conduct research to identify important historical texts written in Malayalam, including royal decrees, treaties, religious texts, and historical chronicles. There are these treaties and other religious texts were kept in some royal palaces or in some books, but after a few years we cannot expect what will happen. So the historical text documentation is also very important to know the status of classical Malayalam. Scholarly collaboration from interdisciplinary teams and collaborate with the national and international institutions for documentation and analysis. Form interdisciplinary teams involving, that is also important. Only the scholars of Malayalam language cannot do this. The scholars from other disciplines, linguists, historians, and literature experts and conservationists, they must work. Only their unified work will give any result in this documentation. And organize exhibitions, public talks, and educational programs to raise awareness and appreciation of documented works. Because people have love and affection towards Malayalam, means the present Malayalam, modern Malayalam. But for the classical Malayalam, the attitude of the common man is they are not aware about such a language legacy the language has. So the awareness and appreciation of these works among the general public is also very necessary. In ancient text digitization, it is also an important thing. The training programs for proper staff for the digitization and the preservation is also important. The text encoding and annotation using text encoding standards like text encoding initiative is the modern technique to annotate the encoded text and to adopt the guidelines to create a standardized framework for encoding Malayalam text is also very important in the for the future of this classical Malayalam. Collaborate on digital humanities projects and encoded text to create interactive digital editions, enabling users to explore annotated text with advanced features like cross-reference and multimedia links. Just now in the earlier presentation of Tamil studies, actually after the presentation of classical Tamil, my work was very easy because you just follow the footprints of Tamil Classical Center because they have done a fantastic work. Comparing with the Classical Tamil Center, the work in Malayalam is very, very, very negligible. So I think they can give light to other classical languages from their work. By developing sophisticated OCR tools and employing these standards for text decoding and annotation, we can significantly enhance the analysis, accessibility and preservation of classical Malayalam text. Then language research centers. Establishment of research centers. Establish dedicated research centers for the study of classical Malayalam and language and literature. These research centers must be equipped with libraries, archives and digital resources specifically focused on classical Malayalam and literature. The location is also important. Choose location, for example, Musiris near Kodungalur in middle Kerala, that are historically significant to the development of Malayalam. There is a major research project is going on, but we can combine our efforts with that project also, such as Kerala with cultural heritage. Analyze classical texts to understand their theme, styles and historical context is also very important. For that, encourage interdisciplinary studies that connect classical Malayalam literature with history, sociology, philosophy and with other classical languages also, with Tamil and Sanskrit. For academic activities, for the academic institutions can do a very good work in this direction. Creation of departments, develop detailed proposals for the establishment of departments or centers for classical Malayalam studies within the universities. Earlier, in 2014, I wrote a letter to the Prime Minister that a chair of all classical languages must be instituted in all central universities in India. At least major universities, one Tamil, one Malayalam, one Kannada, one Telugu chair will be there. Then slowly we can develop these chairs into department with the help of concerned regional administration or states. This in the creation of department includes identifying potential institutions both within Kerala and other regions as well as international universities with an interest in South Asian languages and cultures. Earlier in Cambridge, the first PhD was awarded from Cambridge in Malayalam from the Cambridge University. But I think now hardly one or two university Malayalam in that university campus. So slowly the Malayalam is disappearing from the international arena. So at least focus should be done in that direction also. Another aspect is faculty recruitment. Recruit qualified faculty members with expertise in classical Malayalam literature and language. When you appoint one person in Malayalam, he may not be aware about the classical nature of language, maybe postmodern person. So the attitude towards the classical Malayalam may be different. So the appointment is also very crucial. The recruitment effort should not be limited to universities within Kerala, but should extend to institutions outside the state and internationally. By appointing distinguished scholars and educators in universities abroad, we can promote a global understanding and appreciation of classical Malayalam and attract diverse student population and foster international academic collaboration. If you appoint a language teacher in outside the state, then it will be a recognition for the language also. It's an employment opportunity for a person, but apart from that, it is a recognition. If you appoint a person in Calcutta University or Bombay University, Tamil or Malayalam, so it is an acknowledgement of the state of Tamil Nadu or Kerala. So in that direction also, it's very important. Integration with other programs. Offer interdisciplinary courses that integrate classical Malayalam studies with other fields such as history, philosophy and cultural studies. Another important thing is conferences. Organization of conference, national and international level dedicated to classical Malayalam studies is also important. Select the themes that highlight various aspects of classical Malayalam literature such as specific authors, genres, historical periods or linguistic features. And the main thing is publish conference proceedings and include workshops on manuscript preservation, digitization and textual analysis. We can invite renowned scholars, researchers and authors to present their work and participate in discussion and the involvement of students, because the next generation must be aware of the rich legacy of classical Malayalam. So encourage student participation through paper presentation, poster sessions and panel discussion. Otherwise, the next generation will be interested in modern Malayalam or modern Tamil literature. So they must be encouraged to learn or to go through the classical period also. And another thing is degrees. Develop postgraduate and doctoral programs specialized in classical Malayalam studies. I am surprised that around 300 PhD scholarships were awarded for the classical Tamil studies. I don't know even one scholarship was given for anybody in Malayalam. The university scholarship is different, especially focusing on the study of classical period. I think it is not done. So in this public outreach, the public lectures, so we can invite scholars from other fields, or especially from foreign scholars, because in many countries, people are working on classical Tamil or classical Malayalam or classical Kannada period. So we can interact them and we can invite them to learn their expertise. Then another thing is development of teaching materials. The online courses and textbooks and reference books, supplementary materials developed such as workbooks, exercise sheets. The main thing I am facing that many people ask us me to provide any online or anything, any book to study Malayalam. So it's very difficult to suggest them. But in Sanskrit and Tamil, I know that there are numerous online courses or textbooks are available to learn these languages. So for that, there are some suggestions. The classical Sanskrit courses, we have found success on platforms like Coursera and edX. These courses have attracted a global audience interested in ancient languages and cultures. But even in Malayalam also, we can develop these courses. Another thing is certification and recognition. Many of these platforms offer certification upon course. It has some value. If you complete 1 year or 2 year online course, you must give proper certificates providing formal recognition for their efforts and achievements in learning classical Malayalam. This can motivate more learners to enroll and complete their courses. Another thing is cultural programs. Cultural festivals celebrate Malayalam literature through festivals, reading plays and discussions, and exhibitions on manuscripts, artifacts and artworks related to Malayalam heritage, and honor and contributions to classical Malayalam. Those who have done meritorious work, they must be honored. Then another thing is organizing in national and international workshops of age groups of the educational levels. Another aspect is technological integration, digital libraries. Established comprehensive digital libraries that host classical Malayalam texts, manuscripts and related resources. These platforms can provide high-resolution images of original texts, searchable database and access to scholarly articles. Then mobile apps and literary apps, cultural apps, these are some of the areas we can do something in that direction. The last one is international collaboration. Global partnership. Partner with international universities, research institutions and cultural organizations to conduct joint research projects, publications and conferences on classical Malayalam. This can enhance the global academic profile of Malayalam studies and cultural exchanges between countries, and scholar exchange, develop a program that allows scholars from Kerala to study and conduct research at international institutions and vice versa. Initiate exchange program that for students enabling them to study Malayalam language and literature at universities abroad. In faculty exchange program also. So now this is the 8 points Ashtanga. I'm coming for the conclusion. The classical Malayalam represents a significant era in the linguistic and literary history of Kerala. The works and linguistic standards established during this time continue to influence and inspire scholars, writers and readers. Understanding classical Malayalam provides valuable insights into the evolution of the language, development of literary traditions and rich cultural heritage of Kerala. By implementing the above mentioned strategies, classical Malayalam can be revitalized and adapted to contemporary times, ensuring that its rich literary and cultural heritage that continues to thrive and influence future generations. With the concerted efforts and support of all stakeholders, we can ensure that this remarkable language continues to thrive and inspire for us for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Satishan, for that insightful way. How can we promote awareness amongst youngsters, and how the government can support in preservation and promotion of classical Malayalam. Now I request the chair to please deliver. Thank you. Please come, sir.
Sri Gurubhyo Namaha, Namaskara, and very good afternoon to all. Professor Pradhan Gurudatji, Professor Satishan, and Professor Somshekhar, Chandrasekhar. I don't take much of your time. I'm also very much impressed by these three plenary talks like you. I am very happy and proud that we have been worshipping goodness of knowledge and omnilingual Devi Saraswati since last 3 days during our national seminar on classical language of India. The pioneer verse of this national conference is Saraswati Sloka, and during our panel discussion yesterday, we had lengthy talks about the same, and we are mesmerized with the greatness of it. Now, I would love to recite a verse from Mahakavya Bhavyamanava by the gracious modern world's Mahakavi of Kannada language, Samsi Bhusnurmata, which exuberant the greatness of Devi Saraswati. Eletaye Vagdevi Vidyadi Devataye Bhasha Saraswatiye Shakti Ninnadu Devi Vishwadbhuta Vichitra Jagada Manavana Taleolage Nalage Moodi Belaga Mudisi Hetaye Shabda Brahmakke Deshakalada Jagake Vishwamanavake Harihara Brahma Devadi Devataಗಳಿಗೆ Garuda Gandharva Kinnara Naga Kimpurusha ಅರಸು ಕೋಟಿಗೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಶಬ್ದ ಭಾಷಿತವಾಗಿ ನಡೆಯಿತ್ತು ಸಕಲ ಲೋಕದ ಸರ್ವ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ. ನೀನಿಲ್ಲದಿರೆ ಮೂಕ ಜಗವೇ ಸುಕಾಲ ಹಿಂದುಳಿದಡವಿ ಗುಡ್ಡುಗಾಡಾಗಿ ಪಶುಪಕ್ಷಿ ಲೋಕದಳು ವನ್ಯಮಾನವ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಚಲಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದನು ತಾಯೇ ಶಬ್ದಾಂಧಕಾರದಳು. ಎಲೆ ತಾಯಿ ವಾಗ್ದೇವಿ ನೀನುಳ್ಳೊಡುಂಟು ಶ್ರುತಿ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಾಗಮ ಪುರಾಣ ಧರ್ಮತತ್ವಜ್ಞಾನ ಪಿಟಕ ಬೈಬಲ್ಲು. It summarizes as, without the power of language, humankind will be in the great darkness and wandering like other animals. All the scripts, Vedas, Puranas, Pitaka, Bible are because of language only. Rather than presenting my views about the plenary talks of seminar scholars, Professor Pradhan Gurudat, Professor Somshekaran and Professor T.N. Satishan, as a project director of Classical Kannada, I am hereby expressing a few facts with you which helps in developing Classical Kannada. First and foremost is to eradicate the fear about Classical Kannada. It is very important to remove the fear about Classical Kannada, that it is difficult to read and understand. The foreign scholars like R.F. Kittle, B.L. Rice, Fleet, etc., who don't knew the language in beginning, did not have this fear. Instead, they learned Kannada and even they edited scriptures which are in Old Kannada. We have to make people realize these examples and eradicate this fear about the Classical Kannada. Next, to train high school teachers in Classical Kannada, which makes the teachers to motivate their students to learn Classical Kannada. Through translation work, the text of Classical Kannada are translated to other languages to elaborate its reach to the other people around the world. Regarding this, our Professor Pradhan Gurudat already told the importance of the translation. It is important to note that if we have hold on communicating in our mother tongue, then it will improve our grasping power of learning ability towards other disciplines of knowledge. Keeping this in mind, we have to create a trend to education in mother tongue. Through this, it is possible to conduct research on ancient languages and literature. I hope this conference inspires all the classical languages of India, create this situation to learn their traditional knowledge. Also, learning more and more languages increases the horizon of our knowledge, communication skills, and this conference inspires to do this all. Lastly, you have all come to Mysore, and through your expertise, you have opened our eyes of knowledge. We are overwhelmed. I oblige for any inconvenience in our hosting. Take away only the happy moments from here. I leave behind, please leave behind the bitter experiences here only. I wish these kind of conferences and seminars happens every year too. Expand the circumstance of our knowledge and break the barriers, bring the harmony among us. I would like to end my keynote with these words and end the session. Thank you. Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir. Mysore accepts everybody, just like me coming from West Bengal. So now we are open for question, answer or suggestions. For 5 minutes, we can have 2 questions or suggestions if anybody has. Is there anyone with a question or a suggestion or some comment or remark? As Nakshena sir says, we should break for the tea and then assemble here again in 10 minutes. It has been arranged outside, and before that, I would like to thank Professor N.M. Talwar sir, Professor Pradhan Gurudatta, Professor R. Chandrasekharan, Shri R. Akilan, and Professor T.N. Satishan for joining us today at CIIL and sharing your valuable insights with us and enlightening us. I'm very grateful to all our plenary speakers and chairperson, sir, for your kind acceptance to join us today for this session. We break for tea and then we'll assemble here after 10 minutes. Thank you all for joining.